Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of TV is Our Real Mom. I'm Dave.
I'm Catie.
And you are listening to our weekly Survivor recap podcast in which we break down the latest episode of Survivor. And this was episode 7 of Millennials versus Gen X. And it is titled, I Will Destroy You. And
coming from the least threatening person ever.
Yeah, well, he made the merge, so maybe he is threatening at this point.
FBU.
FB,
No, damn it. I'm trying to think what do they call it on RHAP when you have a
pre-merge or no
merge boot upside? MBU.
Yeah, FMB.
First merge boot. No, whatever. He's gonna get booted soon.
Merge boot upside. First merge boot up.
No, it's just 3 words. MBU, merge boot upside.
Merge boot up. Yeah, there you go. All right.
First is implied. You don't need to put a letter in it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. Wow, Catie, what a crazy episode. What a crazy ending to a seemingly simple vote. Yeah. Pretty much my predictions last week were correct that Brett was in trouble more than anybody. And it sure looked that was going to be the case. But what the hell happened?
Well, you know what? I'm a little bit phone telegraphing him because it was so worth keeping it under wraps. But there was some between Jay and Will and Brett and Sunday because they all voted together. So it looks like this whole Michaela plan unfurled with just Jay and Will talking about it, but obviously Brett and Sunday were a part of it too, a key part of it. So I want to know what was promised to Brett and Sunday, what Brett and Sunday promised to Jay and Will, what they even talked about, because they showed no conversations between those 1 people, and they took place.
That's a good point. I don't know that anything needed to be promised necessarily, because really, if you're Jay and Will and you give Brett and Sunday any option other than going home, they're just gonna take it regardless of, they don't need any coaxing from there. If they're like, hey, we're voting for Michaela actually, so that's what you should do. They just go, yep, okay, definitely, yep. There's no.
So you just kind of take it at face value, because obviously they're going to tell you.
What else can you do? Otherwise, you're just going home. So you just kind of go along with the only option you have, I feel like.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if there was something, because everybody seems to be under the impression that if they were going to vote Brett, Sunday was going to have to vote Brett as well. Because they seemed to think they were just resigned to their fate, and whichever one of them was going home, they would vote for that person, even though they didn't want to.
Yeah.
And so when Jay and Will came up to Brett and Sunday and said, look, you're not going to write each other's names down. We're voting for Michaela. Mm-hmm. Was there any other conversation that took place, or was it just like, do this, the end? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's possible, but there doesn't necessarily have to be any more to it than... because if you give them an out of any kind, they're going to have to take it because, like I said, they don't have any other choice.
Right.
Yeah, maybe there is more to it, and that'd be cool if we find out there was. But I could totally see it too, where they're walking to tribal council and they're just like, guys, vote Michaela. Like that's what you got to do. Vote Michaela. And
I just feel like they might have shown that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't always. Yeah, I feel like it was one of those ones where they didn't want to give it away, and I gotta be honest. It totally shocked me. I was totally surprised. Yeah.
I thought they were just setting us up to think, how they always set up a backup option to make it seem maybe the obvious thing isn't going to happen.
Yeah,
that's what I thought was happening. So when they actually went through with it, I was, as shocked as Michaela. Maybe not.
Yes. Not as shocked as her, but yeah, definitely a real surprise. I was convinced that my MVP was going home. It's kind of sad though, because no more Michaela.
Yeah, man, that's
bittersweet.
Another girl. We lost the girl, the most amazing girl that was on this season. The one who made up for the lack of other girls. You know, she had the personality of 3 or 4 girls, and so it was okay that we lost those other girls. But now we lost her too. So who do we have? We have Michelle, Hannah, Sunday, who's been invisible until tonight,
and Jessica.
And Jessica.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think those 4. Well, Michelle and Hannah, I don't know. At least I don't know, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a guy's gonna win this season.
Yeah, probably. I'm starting to change my mind a little bit on a David and Zeke return next season, like hands down. One of those two could definitely be replaced with Michaela, I feel like, at this point.
I feel like Michaela's got to come back. She didn't get screwed by the show, but she really got burned. And we got screwed out of more Michaela, you know?
I mean, I feel like the producers really saw how much potential she has as a character, how much personality she has, and drive to be. You got to have competitive players on the show, like people who are super competitive and, wear their heart on their sleeve. Just, it makes for great TV. And I really do believe that the producers wanted more out of her. And now I got her locked in as my returning player next season, and either David or Zeke, one of those two, probably leaning more towards. Well, I guess we'll see how the season plays out, because if we get like a Zeke win, then I feel like David comes back. David and Michaela. But yeah, we'll see. Or maybe it's returning winners. Like they do have a few winners returning next season, don't they?
Yeah. So it just because a person wins a season doesn't mean they're not going to turn around and come back.
Yeah, because they could do that with Zeke and have enough winners there to maybe make something out of that,
Right. This isn't like second chances where like if
it has to be. Yeah.
If Carolyn had won, she wouldn't have been eligible.
No. Right.
So
yeah, touche.
But yeah, Michaela's like Joe, except interesting and funny.
But yeah, maybe she'll have a Joe-esque second season where we're not
better than Joe.
Sold
She's
on
got strategy more, I think, than Joe did, but she shouldn't have flaunted it.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, she was flaunting it only in front of her alliance, and so she thought she was safe. But her alliance, when she, pulled the game board, was playmaking in front of them with seashells and rocks. Apparently, that's when the light went off in Jay's head.
Yeah.
That she's smart as well as athletic and likable. We got to get rid of her. So, what do you think of the move? Good. Bad?
I mean, it's obviously bad, right? It's not a great move.
It's hard not to see it as bad.
Yeah, because I just don't see how Michaela wasn't going to do anything. Like she was obviously loyal. She's obviously a stick to the plan type player,
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going to do anything crazy. She was just going to stick with the group all the way to the end. And that's just an easy. And plus, yeah, if she is such a big threat, hey, there's another person that will probably get targeted before you when if you're Jay. So
exactly, she would have been such a big target. She would have been the Joe. Everybody was gunning for Joe, and the minute he didn't win immunity, despite the fact that he had gone down a challenge of people because they knew they probably wouldn't get another chance.
Yeah, and guess who would still be there? Jay. After she goes. So yeah, I'm not crazy about the move. I like the way Jay's thinking, like let's get rid of a big threat while we can. But the problem is there was definitely going to be chances to do it down the road.
Yeah, because despite the fact that Michaela's a threat, she was on your side, and you could use her as a weapon to win immunity, so you could get rid of other people. Brett and Sunday, who's to say? They're not going to Brett's going to run back to Chris. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, he definitely will.
Barely got by. He was saved by this wild hair up Jay's ass.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that saved him. And he knows that Jay's probably not going to be loyal to him, so why wouldn't he go back? Yeah, Jay, I like Jay a lot, but dang, I don't think that was good.
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful for players like Jay who make, they're only thinking like, big moves, like take these guys out, do the unexpected thing, and it makes for awesome TV. But yeah, it's just not the best thing for his game. It's all just bad timing. That's all it is. It's of course you want to take
Yeah.
on Michaela when you can, but it's way too early. You could have gotten a lot more people out before you had to start thinking about that, and you'd still have the numbers to be able to do it. I just think,
Yeah, I think Michaela was right. She told him that he effed up and all this stuff, and I think he might be one of the first ones gone, unless he can pull something crazy with his idol.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
he's got Will, but Hannah's gonna jump ship on him. He's got Taylor and Michelle, but what does that get you?
Yeah. Is the question is Jay going to be plugged in well enough to get word when someone's coming after him? You know, is he going to get wind of it and be able to do something with that idol? I could totally see him getting, walking out of the game with the idol in his pocket. So
Yeah, he has that kind of
upside.
bravado.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I
sure.
could see that happening for sure.
Okay. Um, any other
Can I
comments on?
say though that
Yeah.
tribal council was one of the most ridiculous I've ever seen, in a good way.
Yeah.
And
Very dramatic.
when Michaela turned around and said, "Did you do this?" and
Yeah.
how he just owned it, man. He just looked at her and said, "Yeah, I did this." It was like a
It was kind of,
Godfather type thing. And he just stared her down, and he
yeah.
didn't break the stare, and I was like, "Whoa!"
It was kind of scary how
It
like
was a little bit scary,
yeah,
intense.
it was like how ice cold he was about it. It was just like you said, he met her gaze, did not blink, and was just like, "Yep, that was me."
And as much as I hated him at that moment for taking out Michaela, I could not help but respect the move.
Yeah, the
He did
balls,
not back down from the move, and it's probably going to bite him in the ass soon and hard.
that
But
takes serious
that
balls.
moment,
But
it was delicious.
there's only one person who cares really that that he did it, that it was him. And that's Hannah. Like Hannah's the only one who was like left out of the vote, right?
Yeah, once again, poor Hannah. The
Yeah.
only vote she was in on, granted, this was only the second time she voted,
Uh
but
huh.
she was barely in on the first vote she was in on. And she had
Yeah.
a panic attack. She had a panic attack, but she had a little moment with that vote too. And so
Yeah.
now
It looked like she was actually having a panic attack at this tribal council. Like she was like
maybe
losing her shit.
maybe these early days of the game will harden Hannah. And from here on out, she's going to be more Aubrey-esque. Once Aubrey lost Neil, she kind of hardened herself and said, all right, this is what we're going to do. I mean, to herself.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I think, the
She's
more
got both
she's Superly.
who have both improved their stations greatly. So I think there's a shot that Hannah could get revenge on Jay.
Yep. I think she'll toughen up and she'll start to do better. Um, Tough to say though. Let's see. So the episode starts out with Adam and Taylor. Adam explaining to Taylor, what did you think of how Adam handled that situation? I thought it was like a little like, I don't know. He like couldn't really, he was trying to own it almost like too much, sort of,
He owned it, but didn't really apologize for it. He basically just said what he did to him. He's like, I screwed you.
Yeah.
I
And
took out your partner.
yeah, he's like,
And then
I
he didn't
own
follow
that.
it up. He didn't follow it up with anything. He's like,
Yeah, I
okay,
wasn't like,
thanks for letting me know that you screwed me when I already know that you screwed me.
yeah, it wasn't like, I'm sorry, I owe you one. It's like, I totally screwed you over. All right, see you later.
I don't feel like a big explanation like that is necessary. I think you just have to be like, look, man, I was in the bottom with you guys and I did what I had to do. I'm not here to give you $1 million. I'm here to give myself $1 million. Bam.
Yeah, that's a much better way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
What do you think of David and Zeke's sort of little alliance forming here?
I don't know. There's something off about it.
Yeah. So you
There's
don't
something about David. I can't quite put my finger on it. He's off-putting in his like sincerity.
is it because it's not truly sincere?
No, it
or is
seems
it?
too sincere. Like, whoa, bro, we've only known each other a few days. Don't like come at me like this. Maybe that's just me, but I
Yeah,
feel Zeke in the game. I mean, when someone does come to you like that, obviously you're gonna take it for what it's worth.
yeah. I mean, Zeke was pretty excited about it. It seemed.
Yeah, he was, and they probably do get along really well. They seem like
Yeah, he said they're
similar.
cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
Um,
just something about David that I felt odd about in that moment, and I can't put my finger on it.
and I can see that. I can see that. It's a little. He's a little needy. He's a little needy,
Maybe that's it.
and
Like, look.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, for him to say, here's somebody I identify with, like this, it's almost like being a kid on the playground and you see somebody you want to be friends with. It's like David.
And they probably do get along really well. They seem like
Yeah, he said they're
similar.
cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. I don't know. It was
Um,
just something about David that I felt odd about in that moment, and I can't put my finger on it.
and I can see that. I can see that. It's a little. He's a little needy. He's a little needy,
Maybe that's it.
and
Like, look.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, for him to say, here's somebody I identify with, like this, it's almost like being a kid on the playground and you see somebody you want to be friends with. It's like David's like finally found that person. He's like, that's it. That's my buddy right there. And he's like, how can I show this person that I really want to work with them? And
And it
that's
gives
why,
him a note that says, "Will you be my friend? Yes or no?"
yeah, check the box.
That's a
And,
good comparison.
and then you can see my idol. I'll show you my idol.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
should we do an idol check? Okay,
idol check.
David has an idol. Who knows
Yeah,
about his idol? It's just Zeke, right?
Zeke, just Zeke. Yeah.
Okay, Jay has an idol. Who knows about his idol? Now it's just Will. Michaela did know, but she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
She
Michaela's
could have
gone.
blown him up, but she didn't.
Nope. And she should have.
That would have been juicy. It would have been really juicy.
Maybe she would have stuck around.
And Adam has an idol, which nobody knows about, except
Except
maybe Hannah. She
Hannah.
really saw, but I really don't think. I think she was just in the right place at the wrong time.
I think she'd be really stupid if she didn't suspect.
She probably suspects. You're right. Yeah, she
Like heavily suspects. Doesn't know for sure, but really suspects that he does.
she's probably about 70% sure, because that's
Yeah.
how sure she was that Brett was a cop.
Is that what she said? 70%?
Yeah, she's 70% sure.
What do you think about that? Is it a bad idea to grill a cop? Like, if you do suspect they're a cop, is it a bad idea to grill them with questions, trying to catch him in the lie, or is that just like a way to?
It's risky. I like the move. It's risky, but what's worse is when you are a cop and you make up a bullshit profession that you don't even do a little bit of research about before you go out there. Even
Yeah.
I know a field director does more than help pick out caskets. So
Yeah.
he probably should have picked something simpler or really done his homework. Because in Big Brother 16, Derek, who won the season, he was a cop, but he told people he was like a groundskeeper for a parks department. Oh my God, he had so many stories about it. Like it was laid out. He would talk about it all the time. Like you couldn't. I mean, why would you not believe him? He just talked about it so nonchalantly. But this guy, oh, I help him pick out caskets. That's nothing. Come on, they do way more than that. So.
And he tries to brush it off so quickly. He's like, I just, I help him pick out caskets, and that's that. Sorry, that's it.
You know what he should have been like.
He's like, yeah, whatever, leave me alone. I pick out caskets.
Say that you're a freaking, I don't know, teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher. It's pretty easy to talk about teaching and kids and parents, and it's not hard to figure out what a teacher does.
It's like,
they do a lot. I'm not disrespecting teachers, but you can easily talk about what they do.
Okay, Catie, who's your favorite student in your class?
What? I don't have a class. I'm not a teacher.
Come on.
Oh,
play along with this. Yeah. You're supposed to pretend to be a teacher.
I don't have favorite.
Oh, see, that was terrible.
You can't have favorites as a teacher. That's horrible.
One student that really stands out to me is little Hannah. She's very intelligent and, just maybe fake something to make Hannah just like you more. I don't know.
That's what I mean. If I were going out for Survivor, I'd have a whole thing prepared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This guy, he did it. He doesn't do his recon.
No, he wasn't ready. He wasn't
He's
ready.
a friggin' cop. He needs to do his research before he goes out in the field and does shit like that.
Yeah, after this episode, I can pretty much say that I am.
Brett's not gonna win.
Yeah, I'm out on Brett. He's not winning. He's basically getting a dodo edit now. I mean, that's pretty much what this episode was.
Grade. You know
what's that?
He's barely getting a passing grade at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
There was something else about Brett that pissed me off. Is like right after the immunity challenge, and he and Sunday were in the water, and they were just saying how
we have to write each other's names.
Names down. I'm like, okay, that's it. So you're not even gonna try?
It's like maybe you two could rope in Jay and Will against Michaela or something.
Like something fell in their lap, but they're lucky it did. It was through no efforts of their own, at least that we saw.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yeah, so you were right about last week you said that maybe Michaela was just saying what people wanted to hear.
Yeah, I was right about that, wasn't I?
Yeah. I didn't think that was true at all, but maybe she's just lying too in that moment. But it sounded like hey, she was just saying what she's supposed to say. You know?
She wanted Figgy gone.
Yeah, she actually wanted Figgy gone. Yep, that's pretty cool, Catie. You were right about that.
And the irony is that now they get to go on the pre-jury trip together. Figgy and Michaela.
Where do they go? Like Thailand or something?
Oh, they go somewhere different every year. They're in Fiji, so somewhere around Fiji, I'd imagine.
New Zealand?
I don't know where Fiji is. So probably, maybe. So
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not a geographer.
So there was a reward challenge. Who won that? I don't remember.
I don't remember. Let's see.
Well, what did they even win? Oh, they won. Oh, they had to balance like balls.
Yeah, that's the one that Chris and David's tribe won, and then they just farted in front of Michaela, like disgusting men.
Oh, yes. They were very gassy.
Going to the trees, you know?
Yeah. So it sounds like Zeke has been on diets his whole life, and he's enjoying, being able to binge.
Yeah, apparently Zeke lost like 30 pounds before he went out there. So.
Really? You think that's a good idea? Have we talked about this before?
He seems like he's handling it fine, so it must have been okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to be huge when you're out there.
No.
Imagine Zeke with 30 more pounds. It probably was a lot to carry around.
Yeah, he wouldn't be very much help in the challenges, I don't think.
Right.
Okay, so what do you think about Taylor trying to weasel his way in with Jessica and Ken? I mean, it's all you can do, right? I mean, there's no other move, right?
No, I mean, I got a little worried for a second until I figured that they had to show something. And in that entire conversation, Ken did not say a word. They showed some facial expressions, but I feel like Ken is such a person who's loyal. He's not going to betray Adam. I think Jessica might consider it, and maybe Jessica can talk to Ken about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would go for it.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to either. But Jessica, I believe, is definitely entertaining the idea. Whether or not she can get Ken on board, that's a different story. What are the odds that Adam and Taylor could get? Oh, wait, I guess we got to merge, so we're never going to see. We're never going to see this.
It's not going to happen. And now it's all about who's going to stick with who. So we could play out some scenarios here. If Ken and Jessica stick with Adam, then Adam can possibly bring Zeke back in. Zeke has Chris and David. That's already 6 people right there. The Millennials and Gen X in that group. I mean, that label's basically gone. They could probably rope in Hannah because Hannah's pissed at Jay. That's 7 people. And they could bring in Brett and Sunday. That's 9.
Yeah, that'll probably be the big power, the big power alliance or the big group.
So if that's the case, voting out Michaela, I mean, what did that hurt? I mean, they're still them a normally hypothetical.
Yeah.
But they still would have had 4 versus.
Yeah, in theory, it didn't change much because the big group that seems to be forming there, the one you mentioned, leaves out that strong 4 or 5 or whatever it was.
And Michelle and Taylor.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
so
you bring in
basically
Michelle.
Millennials.
Yeah, it's pretty much a millennial alliance. Yeah, right there, with excluding Adam, right, and Zeke.
Right.
Adam and Zeke.
Adam and Zeke. And
going
Hannah,
with
Hannah flips.
Yeah, if Hannah flips. Yeah.
I think I could see the millennials being picked off here because the Gen Xers were the ones to go there for a while now, but I think the Gen Xers and their stray millennial partners have played it the best post-swap. So I think that the millennials, the Triforce, and the Ikabula millennials are in trouble.
Yeah, the foundation is there for sure. And David and Ken had such a strong bond. Yeah, you know that Ken and Jessica are going in with the 3 alliance of David, Zeke, and Chris for sure. Like, no question. So, and if Adam's sticking with Ken and Jessica, and Adam liked Zeke too, so I mean, it's just a no-brainer that you've got 6 strong right there. So that's to me, that's like just the super strong 6, and then the 3 that are helping support that are basically Brett, Sunday, and maybe Hannah. Is that what we said?
I think Hannah's going to be out for Jay's blood, so I think she'll be willing to flip on him, definitely. I just don't know within that group of 9 who are the core people. It seems like it's got to be David and Zeke and Adam and Ken.
And Chris.
I don't know. I don't see Chris. I'm not confident Chris is going much past the merge. Maybe he'll outlast those millennials.
I think he's in there. I think he's nestled in there real good. I think he could be top 6.
All right. It's going to be
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Crap. I lost my train of thought. You got anything?
I said it was going to be a real sausage fest. The top 6.
That's too bad. You cut out when you said that, so I missed that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said it's gonna be mostly dudes in the top, right? I mean, Jessica and Sunday. Maybe those 2 will go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say those 2 will go farther than Brett. You got.
Oh yeah.
Adam's got an immunity idol, so he'll get rid of somebody with that thing. I'm sure it's possible. Like, who do you think he would try to take out with his idol if he knew he had to play it and he could make a difference and he played it right?
Well, it depends on if he hangs on to it until they're down to those 9 and they're picking each other off. He's going to want to take out like a David or a Chris.
A Chris, yeah. That's where I could see Chris going home a little earlier, is getting idled out of the game.
There's a lot of idols out there, man. There's a lot of idols out there.
Yeah. And the way this season's been going, I don't think it is going to be. It never is this cut and dry anymore. So you're going to have people getting paranoid and turning on each other.
Especially with a group of like between 6 and 9 people. That's a big group. So you're going to have betrayals.
Yeah, betrayals. But
post-swap, you have betrayals every vote, So it's like it doesn't take huge numbers for a betrayal to seem interesting. You're going to get a lot more, I think.
Yes, agreed. Not much to say about the immunity challenge, right? I mean, yeah.
No.
They do the old slingshot thing.
Yeah.
The strong tribe loses, which was a little unexpected, but
I like that since the swap, like every tribe has gone to tribal council once, which shows that it was a pretty even swap. Like they were matched pretty evenly.
Yeah, that's always nice to see. No decimation of any tribe.
Or oolongs or what have you.
Exactly. That was pretty funny how they all like sat there for like half an hour in silence because nobody wanted to like. Fun. It's like they were nervous to commence the horribleness.
Commence the butchery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'd be tough. You go so long and think you're like the untouchable tribe. And they all liked each other from what I've read and what I've seen. So it would be But that's the game, man. You got to toughen yourself to that. They hadn't done that yet. They weren't calloused enough by tribal councils. Maybe Brett and Sunday were because they've gone to a few tribal councils, but the millennials, not so much.
Yeah. But Brett and Sunday, like you said, they just got lucky in this vote. I mean, they didn't do anything.
They didn't do shit for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to see the numbers more even. So you're going into the merge with 7 millennials and 6 Gen Xers, so it's a little more even than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But they deserve none of the credit. It's like Taylor and Figgy in that first millennial vote. They deserve none of the credit for being saved.
Agreed. Yeah, I do hope we see more gameplay out of Brett. Maybe he was saved for a reason. Like he'll just turn it around.
I think when he was around the Ikabula, he just kind of tried to blend in and fade into the background.
Yeah.
Maybe when he gets back together with Chris, we'll see more of a gamer. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to want to be the big, loud, making big moves guys. They're probably going to continue to try to lay low.
Which is interesting. If you met them, you'd probably be like, oh, these are going to be loud, obnoxious, like run the game guys. But I think they really are. They know their role. They know when to blend in.
Yeah, and it's probably their best move right now, honestly. If they started getting too noticeable, they're definitely going to be targeted a lot faster.
Yeah.
It's just they're those types of presences. When you got big guys like that, it's tough. They always said that about guys like Scott Pollard and Cliff, these just huge guys. You just can't ignore them. They're such a physical presence that all their best move sometimes is just like trying to stay quiet and stay hidden, sort of, because you can't hide physically. So I don't know, but I do want to see more out of Brett because right now he's getting the dodo edit and that sucks.
I'm excited to see more out of Chris. We haven't really heard from him in a couple of weeks, so I'm interested in seeing how he's going to play the merge.
And what we've seen from him so far this season when he has played has been pretty good. So what do you think of Will?
Especially since the swap.
What do you think of Will in this conversation with Jay?
I think he's easily manipulated. I think that he's boring.
He's definitely a smart kid, though. He's very smart.
He went along with this move, and we've decided that it wasn't a good move. He didn't try to convince Jay, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. He was like, yeah, Jay, I'll do whatever you want, Jay. I haven't watched the secret scenes this week. That's what I should have done before we came on here. But
yeah, what the hell?
To see where his head's really at, because I don't know where his head's at. But it seems like he's just willing to go along with Jay and do whatever he says. And now if they lose Hannah, it's just the Will and Jay show.
Yeah, good point. I think if Will was really a strong player and really smart, he would have tried harder to convince Jay. He would have realized it was a bad move and tried to convince Jay, hey, this is not the right move for us right now. So,
but instead, he was just under Jay's charms or whatever, and immediately was with Jay and like, yeah, this is a good idea.
Yeah, he's young. He's like 18, so I can see why.
Yeah. I
yes.
think it was a good move.
I don't think so, Catie.
Pretty dicey there, Will. I don't know.
Yes. All right. Well, I pretty much touched on the main points of the episode. Is there anything you want to add?
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Not a lot happened in this episode up until the very end. Yeah.
You're right.
It was a great episode just because of the end, basically.
One thing I will say is that I got a whiff at the beginning of the episode that this might be Michaela's boo episode. Like, it started to occur to me early. And I was like, no, that would never happen.
What made you think that?
Because she said stuff like after the reward show. She was like, I don't want to stick out. I don't want them to take notice of me. And her whole bye Felicia thing. Yeah, and I just got a feeling like, Michaela's an awesome character. But there's no rule that says she can't go home pre-merge just because she's a fan favorite,
Yeah.
And the way the editors do it, and then before they went to commercial after the immunity challenge, You know how they always say, yeah, Brett's going home, and you know that person's not going home.
Yeah, that's kind
Because
of
they're
become
not
the
gonna
trend. Yeah.
yeah, they're not gonna tee you up that easily. They never do that. Whoever they say is going home before that commercial break, not going
Is
home.
not go home. And it's the alternative that is going home.
Yeah, so in my head, I'm like, okay, if Brett's not going home, I mean, they're not just gonna switch it to Sunday. It's gotta be something more shocking than that.
Yeah.
And it couldn't I thought maybe Jay, but then I thought of the idol and I was like, oh shit. Here we
Yeah.
go.
My
But I
only
still didn't believe it until the very end when Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. My only inkling was I remember you talking last week about how the preview showed the game will change or something like that. Like it
Yeah.
made this bit, the game changes in an instant, and there was none of that through the whole episode. So I was like, okay, if they
Oh,
must be
you're right. I didn't even think about that.
I was like, they must be referring to the vote then. That I didn't really think about it till tribal council, and at that point I was like, wow, maybe that is what they were talking about. Maybe it's Michaela goes home because they're saying that you're never safe or whatever, you know. I
It's
guess.
a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my only inkling, but I was still really surprised when I saw it. I thought it was just an obvious Brett vote, you know, it just made too much sense. But
It
yeah,
was great though.
I'm so glad we have players like Jay though to make the show interesting, you know.
Yeah, I like Jay a lot. I don't know what his
He's not,
long-term chances are now that he did that. Well, even if he had done that, he's just not in this conglomerate alliance that I think is going to take over.
mm-hmm.
He's in the Triforce still. Triforce is so yesterday.
Oh,
We're not doing the Triforce anymore.
That was dead from the start. DOA.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's so many different paths to the end of the game, and I wouldn't rule Jay out just yet, but I would say his chances have diminished quite dramatically.
He's got too much stiff competition. People that have been laying low, like Zeke's. I guess Adam made a big move, but that was only because he had to. Either way he went would have been considered a big move. So that was just the way that the cookie crumbled for him. But
yeah, I don't forget about Adam for sure, because he's in a really good spot, I think. The only thing that could bite him in the ass is maybe somehow there is a revenge vote against him. Like enough people liked Figgy, and Taylor can convince enough people.
Nobody liked Figgy except Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if what Taylor can do, who he could convince, but obviously that's what Taylor's going to be trying to do. They named the episode "I Will Destroy You."
They do that to throw people off, though.
Yeah, I hope that's all it is. I hope it doesn't bear any weight as far as what happens with Taylor down the road. Good.
Survivor episode titles never bear weight. They're just quotes, random quotes from the episode.
I feel like sometimes they play into who goes home or how they go home, but not usually. I don't think. I think you're right.
Not usually.
Yeah. So
once in a while.
So that's pretty much all Adam really has to worry about, is if Taylor can somehow convince people to help him in his plan for revenge. Other than that,
think about Ken and Jessica. They could stick with Adam, who has a tie to Zeke, who has a tie back to David and Chris, or they could go with Taylor, who just has Jay and Michelle. Maybe I don't know.
Michelle. You can't forget about Michelle. Yeah.
The enemy you know is better than the enemy you don't. And I think Ken and Jessica would be more comfortable going back with Chris and David.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know.
But I do think Adam's in a good spot having an idol that pretty much nobody knows about, and he's pretty much on the right side of the numbers, so he can play that thing later in the game, and that's going to help him a lot. But yeah, once you play an idol, you officially are outed as a player with a resume, and you're immediately a threat. And that's what sucks about immunity idols now. You know, if he plays it at 7, there's 4 more votes or whatever to get him out as a threat. So yeah,
you can always find another one.
Yep. Like so many players have done.
Yeah.
Does that happen every season now? Didn't
I don't think it happened last season.
Ty found 2, I thought.
Everybody just hung on to theirs so long last season that they didn't get a chance to play more than one.
Did Ty not have 2? I thought he found 2.
No, we had the same one all season.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, never mind.
He just never played it until the very end. Did he even play it? He didn't even play it.
And Scott played, or Jason played his on Scott and tried to play the Super Idol.
Didn't work.
And Neil went home with
his in his pocket. Yeah, what a shitty season for idols.
Yeah, didn't work out last season.
No, we've already had one played this season. Let's get some more.
Season before though, Jeremy found 2.
That was a good idol season. Real good idol season.
Oh, definitely.
You had some awesome idol plays that season. So maybe we're due for a good one now. We had a shitty one. Now it's time for a good one.
Yeah. Season before that, freaking Mike found 2.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's not touch the dirty 30.
He did find 2 though. Just saying.
Props to him.
That's 2 in a row.
Good job.
So that's three out of 4. 3 out of the last 4 seasons, one person found more than one.
Cool.
But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Any other tangents you want to go down?
No, I think we should predict and MVP it up.
Alrighty then. MVP, obviously you can't give it to... Well, can you give it to Jay? No, probably not.
I'm going to give it to Michaela just for making her last episode a good one.
Yeah, probably.
Like, she was
probably securing
hilarious to the end.
Yeah.
Her last words were, I'm gonna get rich some way.
Yeah, very good.
That was beautiful. So
yeah,
she's my MVP.
Yeah, right on. I do think she will be returning next season. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's the biggest no-brainer. More of a no-brainer than Ty. More of a no-brainer than Kelly Wentworth. Aubrey. Like, do not wait a second before bringing her back. Bring her back now because she got screwed.
We don't know for sure that Aubrey's coming back. Sorry, I don't know that for sure. I just